Welcome students to the new segment of the second chapter history, kings, farmers and towns. In this session, I will complete from page number 35 to 38 and will discuss about new notions of kingship, divinity of the king, popular perceptions of kings and new strategies adopted by the peasants or the people to improve the production, agricultural production. As we already discussed, in 200 BCE, that means the 2nd century BCE, the new kingdoms that emerged in the Deccan as well as in the south, chiefdoms and chief kingdoms emerged, including chiefdoms of the Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas in Tamilakam. Tamilakam means that is the ancient name of Tamil country. Aska Tamil Nadu, a country which includes the part of current day or present day, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And these Chola, Chera, Pandyas, the kingdoms or chiefdoms, they were very prosperous and stable. Before moving into the segment, we should discuss about a chief and chiefdom. Who was a chief? What was his function? And all. A chief was a powerful person. His position may or may not be hereditary. But he needs the support of the kinfolk. Kinfolk means a relative. Suppose I am a chief, I need the support from my relatives. Right? So I am powerful and can be hereditary mera position. Mera papa tha, mere ko mil gaya. Like that. And my functions. I have to perform some special rituals. And I should lead a warfare. लड़ाई वगैरह होगा तो लीडिंग रोल में खड़े होना है. Right? Apart that, I have to judge the disputes. Some clans or some group, whatever it is, some groups वगैरह की लड़ाई होगा तो उसमें जज बनना, dispute solve करना, ये सब कुछ मेरा ड्यूटी है. I can collect, means the chief can collect the gift from the subordinates, but often this gift they distributed among the supporters. Generally, this chiefdom are not having a particular army or we can say that officials, etc. So question aayega, write a brief note about a chief or chiefdoms, or what do you know about chief? So you have to say like this, right? And we all came to know about these chiefdoms and chief of Tamil Nadu or Tamilakam from the old Tamil Sangam text. In that text, they describe about how the chief acquired and distributed the resources. We'll discuss about this Tamil Sangam book in this chapter number 3. Right? Apart that, many more rulers, we can say that, many more rulers in the sense many new states also, like Satavahanas, Sakas had controlled over the long distance trade. Trade network were there. And these rulers, they controlled the trade network also. So they accumulated the vast wealth also through the trade. With the help of trade only, because revenue and all the things. And they got a lot of wealth or huge wealth they got. Right? So we discussed about Chola, Chera, Pandya's king, then Satavahanas rulers, then आपका क्या नाम इसका Shaka rulers. And next rulers के बारे में, next main on rulers है, हम discuss करेंगे कुशाना के बारे में और गुप्ता के बारे में, right? Kushana rulers, and they were the powerful rulers, and they spread their territory from Central Asia to northwestern India. Central Asia से northwestern India तक उनका पूरा अधिकार था. And totally क्या करेंगे इसका, we can historian reconstruct the past of these people or the story means इसके बारे में from the inscriptions, coins and the sculptures, etc. from the sculptures, coins, inscriptions, historians reconstruct the past of these kings, Kushana rulers, उनका ruling के बारे में, dynasty के बारे में, right? Colossal statues, colossal means huge. Colossal statues of Kushana rulers have been found installed at a shrine in मठ और मथुरा, वी कैन से उत्तर प्रदेश. कुशाना रूलर का बड़ा सा स्टैचू एक श्राइन में आपको इंस्टॉल करके मिला है. द सेम सिमिलर स्टैचू ऑल्सो फाउंड ए श्राइन इन अफगानिस्तान. सेंट्रल एशिया टू नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया बोला है, सो यूपी में मिला है, देन आपको अफगानिस्तान में सेम सिमिलर स्टैचू मिला, ह्यूज स्टैचू. फ्रॉम दैट ओनली द हिस्टोरियंस फेल्ट दैट these people, these kings, they themselves considered as god like ईश्वर का जैसे करके वो अपने आप को ईश्वर के साथ तुलना करते थे, right? कुशाना rulers. And historians also described that some Kushana rulers, they called themselves as Devaputra. Devaputra means Dev means Ishwar, Putra means son. Well, Devaputra means the Devaputra. Devaputra means the son of God. And also these historians again describe might be or possibility of the influence of the Chinese rulers, because Chinese rulers describe themselves as the son of heaven. हम 11th class में पढ़ चुका था, isn't it? These Chinese rulers describe themselves as son of heaven. So influence वहां से मिला होगा. These Kushana rulers also called themselves as the Devaputra. Devaputra means Devo means son of God, right? And उसके बाद जो आपका historians गुप्ता के बारे में, गुप्ता rulers के बारे में, they also reconstruct the क्या बोलेंगे past of or गुप्ता rulers के बारे में reconstruct from the literature, from the coins, from the inscriptions, and also from the sculptures, apart from the prashasti. What do you mean by prashasti? I think you have learned in 6th class what is the meaning of prashasti. Prashastis are the long poems written by the court poet in praise of kings. Define पूछेगा what are prashastis or what do you know about prashasti? तो बोलेंगे प्रशस्ति क्या होता है? प्रशस्ति जो लिखते हैं court poet है, राजा का कोर्ट में जो पोएट है वो लिखेंगे, लॉन्ग पोएम्स है, एंड दैट आल्सो इन प्रेज ऑफ किंग, राजा को प्रेज करते हुए. राजा ऐसा कोई अगर विक्टोरियस है, कोई लड़ाई किया है, कुछ भी हो, उसके बारे में प्रेज करके. यू नो दैट वेल दैट दिस इज नॉट फैक्चुअल. द प्रशस्तीज वर नॉट फैक्चुअल बिकॉज दैट इज इन प्रेज ऑफ गॉड, इन प्रेज ऑफ दिस किंग ओनली, बिकॉज दे नीड प्रेजेंट फ्रॉम द किंग, बिकॉज गोल्ड कॉइन्स and also many more gift they need from the they are receiving from kings. So these things are not factual. Historians then also historians collected many things from the prashastis, that is another thing, but this is not totally factual, because the court poets, they required gifts, and gifts are presented by this king only. So they always, वो कभी खराब नहीं लिखेंगे, they always praise the kings, right? So historians, they collected the information from the about the Gupta rulers from the prashasti also, though they are not factual. Such prashasti, एक बड़ा सा प्रशस्ति है प्रयागा प्रशस्ति, पूछेंगे आप उसके बारे में. प्रयागा प्रशस्ति और another name is Allahabad pillar, Allahabad pillar inscriptions. This was written by Hari Sena. मन मार्क में पूछ सकता है हरि सेना. प्रयागा प्रशस्ति और द Allahabad pillar was written by Hari Sena, the court poet of the great Gupta ruler Samudragupta. Samudragupta का court poet था Hari Sena. He only written this प्रयागा प्रशस्ति, right? And in that also described that Samudragupta, he himself considered as the God. God के साथ उसका दर्जा दिया गया. And historians ये भी कहता है कि these Gupta rulers were the क्या बोलेंगे the dependent of the Samanthas. Who were the Samantas? Samantas are the men, or the people. They are very powerful. They are having the power on the land all, no all, and they are collecting the taxes and all because they are powerful. They are because entire control of the land of with them only, and they are collecting the tax. They are providing military as well as money to the king. So they become powerful. Sometimes the Samanta become powerful and Raja become weak. They are able to snatch the power also from the kings. That also happened. History describes many events like that. Samanta become powerful, Raja become weak, and these Samantas they try to snatch the power from the kings. This also happens, right? And so we discussed about the Chola, Chera, Pandyas, then Satavahanas, Sakas, then Kushana rulers, and after that Gupta rulers. राइट इनमें प्रशस्ति के बारे में बता दिया था. प्रशस्ति क्या है बताना है, और आपका क्या बोलेंगे सामंतास कौन है ये बताना है आपको. ठीक है, डोंट फॉरगेट ऑल द थिंग्स. एंड अब राजा के बारे में तो बता दिया, बट द हिस्टोरियंस वांटेड टू नो अबाउट द किंग्स रियलिटी, बिकॉज already I discussed about that prasastis. Prasastis are not factuals, that were not factuals, right? Actual things तो मिलते ही नहीं है. And inscriptions also do not provide all the answers. Historians they are having a lot of questions. All the answers are not given by these inscriptions. And ordinary people rarely left accounts. Or normal people, प्रजा तो अपने accounts को कुछ बना के रखा नहीं है, right? Then how the historians or collect the information about the kings? और क्वेश्चन भी आपको आएगा कि क्वेश्चन भी आपके पास है कि क्या है क्वेश्चन कि क्या करेंगे आपका, व्हाट डिड सब्जेक्ट्स थिंक अबाउट द रूलर्स. व्हाट डिड द सब्जेक्ट्स मींस कौन है, पीपल, जनता, प्रजा. व्हाट डिड दिस सब्जेक्ट्स और प्रजा थिंक अबाउट, isn't it, think about their rulers. Historians have tried to know this by examining the stories. That time stories also, Panchatantra and Jatakas stories were there. Jataka जो पाली इसमें लिखा हुआ है, Jatakas written in Pali, right? And जो आपका उसमें क्या करेंगे, animals को indicate करके stories बनाया गया. So they interpret the story and from that only they can understand, they understood the perceptions of kings, what the subjects thought about, think about this king, right? ऐसे एक स्टोरी एग्जाम्पल स्टोरी बताएंगे. यहाँ बताया गया आपको बुक में वन स्टोरी नोन एज गंडादिंडू जटाका. गंडादिंडू जटाका स्टोरी है. इसमें एक एल्डरली वुमेन एंड वेन कल्टिवेटर्स के बारे में है. प्लाइट ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट्स मीन्स वुमेन का, ओल्ड वुमेन एंड मेन, उनका पर्सन्स का, उनका सबका प्लाइट, उनका क्या बोलेंगे बाट टाइम के बारे में बताया गया है. एक राजा है, ही वॉज क्रूअल and cruel in the sense क्या है, these kings that time kings they wanted to fill their coffers means क्या बोले खजाना from the peasants only. peasants से जो tax extra tax excess tax लेकर के they will fill the खजानास and all, isn't it, coffers we can say. So ये राजा है, एक दिन निकल गया कि जो अपने राज्य में कि जो देखने के लिए जनता क्या बोल रहे मेरे बारे में, देखें व्हाट इज देयर ओपिनियन, और मैं कैसा राजा है करके देखने के लिए. जैसे राम एक बार निकला था ना, श्री राम निकल गया राजा के बारे में क्या बोल रहे करके, तब पता चला कि राजा के बारे में क्या बोल रहे. तब उसके बाद सीता को, देवी सीता को भी त्याग कर दिया. ये सब कहानी हमको पता है. सेम वे दिस किंग वाज सो क्रूअल and he left from his palace to search that whether the kings, the people or the subjects, they are saying what they are saying. राजा तो जनता के जो गली विलेज में गया है तो शॉकिंग न्यूज मिला उसको. जनता ये कहता है अरे हमारा जिंदगी तो खराब है, रात में तो आएंगे रॉबर्स विलेज को लूटने के लिए. Night we are totally pathetic condition because robbers will come and they will loot. In the day another robbers, king's soldiers, they will come and collect taxes. तो दोनों लूटिंग होता है, शाम को भी दिन में भी. And we are totally मतलब जो disappointed and हम यहाँ रह नहीं सकता, and they left the village and they moved into the forest also. So from this story, historians understood the condition. The story tells the condition. They explain the condition of the king as well as the relation between the king and the subjects. Subject were, मतलब जो subjects means the people or जनता. They were not happy with the kings because they are मतलब extracting the revenue, excess revenue from the poor farmers, right? और ये revenue को देने के लिए उनको क्या करना पड़ेगा, वो they try to improve the or they try to implement different strategies, planning to improve the agriculture production. ये भी important है. What are the steps they have taken to improve the condition of the farmers, condition of the agriculture, etc. इसमें 5 point आपको याद करना है. One is they use that iron tipped plow. Iron tipped plow they use कर दिया. And second आप use करेंगे hoe agriculture. Third आप बोलेंगे irrigation facilities. And fourth आप बोलेंगे आपका फर्स्ट कौन सी है, आयरन टिप्ड प्लो, सेकंड हॉ एग्रीकल्चर एंड थर्ड इरिगेशन एंड अगला है आपका क्या बोलेंगे, वन मोर थिंग है, जस्ट सी आई वांटेड टू चेक दैट फ्लो का हो गया. अनदर स्ट्रैटेजी इंक्रीज yes, transplantation. What is important? Transplantation. सबसे पहले ट्रांसप्लांटेशन बताता हूँ क्या है ट्रांसप्लांटेशन. ट्रांसप्लांटेशन इज हैपनिंग विद द पैडी फील्ड्स. नॉर्मली सब जगह होता है ट्रांसप्लांटेशन. इवन हम लोग घर में भी अगर अपने कोई प्लांट अगर लगाएगा तो ट्रांसप्लांट करेगा तो अच्छी बात है. लेकिन नॉर्मली दिस गंगा वाली में दे यूज टू ट्रांसप्लांट द पैडी मीन्स राइस because initially they broadcast the rice seeds. वो क्या करेंगे, आगे बढ़ेंगे. देन उसका सैपलिंग आने के बाद ना, सैपलिंग हो जाएगा तो उसको सबको निकालेंगे. देन उसके क्या करेंगे, ट्रांसप्लांट करेंगे जो आपका वाटर लॉक्ड एरिया में ऐसे दूर दूर लगाएंगे. सो द प्रोडक्शन विल इंक्रीज. सो ट्रांसप्लांटेशन क्या है उसके बारे में आप ही लिखेंगे. देन इरिगेशन क्या है, दे यूज कैनाल्स, टैंक्स एज वेल एज कैनाल्स. तो वो कम ही बनाया, लेकिन बनाया तो किंग्स बनाया और कम्युनिटीज बनाया. टैंक्स, वेल्स and tanks also, canals also they made, and they improve the irrigation facilities. They never wait for the rain and all. In such a way they improve the production. There's also a strategy. Then iron tipped Gangetic and Kaveri valleys, alluvial soil है, dry season में तो hard हो जाता है, and they wanted to plow. For that they used a wooden tip plow, and now they replaced. They use iron because hard को अच्छी तरह से खोद सकता है. एंड आप क्या करेंगे, ऊपर का सोल को नीचे को ऊपर करके एंड प्रोडक्शन इंप्रूव कर दिया, फर्टिलिटी और हो जाता है. सो आयरन टिप प्लो यूज कर दिया है. सो आयरन टिप प्लो के बारे में बोलेंगे, दे इंप्रूव ड्रामेटिकली, दे इंक्रीज द प्रोडक्शन विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस आयरन टिप प्लो. Then hog cultivation mainly semi-arid areas like Punjab and Rajasthan, mainly terrain areas, hilly, हल्का सा hilly हो गया, terrain areas में they use hog cultivation. That also they improve in such a way, they improve the condition of the production of agriculture. So hog cultivation, iron dip plow and irrigation, then transplantation. ये चारों लिखने हैं, right? इतना आपको लिखना है. हम पूछेंगे क्वेश्चन जो साथ में बैठ के सुनिए, उससे पूछ देंगे, राइट? एंड माय डियर, टेल मी द क्वेश्चन, सो द आंसर्स ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. नेम द न्यू किंगडम्स दैट emerged in Deccan and South.
Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas.
Chola, Chera and Pandyas. Satavahanas also, Deccan and
Satavahanas and Shakas.
Tamilakam included the parts of the present day
Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and
Kerala. Who was the chief?
Chief was a powerful man whose position may or may not be hereditary.
Hereditary. And what were his functions?
His functions was that functions were that they used for the performing special rituals and leadership in warfares, and taking his power from the relatives, means King Fog, and
No.
हाँ
That is not a function. मतलब दे वो तो आपको उसके बारे में बोला. फंक्शन में आपको वारफेयर बोलेंगे और रिचुअल्स का बोलेगा. इसके अलावा क्या है? जजेस द डिस्प्यूट्स, राइट?
and they take the gifts.
वो तो अलग है. गिफ्ट ले सकते, सबऑर्डिनेट से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे सपोर्टर्स को. एंड जिस तमिलकम के बारे में हमें कहाँ से पता चलता है? सोर्स
हमें संगम टेक्स्ट.
हाँ, संगम, तमिल संगम टेक्स्ट बोलेंगे. ठीक है. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय कोलोसल स्टैच्यू?
means huge statue.
और दिस कुशानास आर considered as
God like structure. Devaputra.
देवपुत्र. दैट मीन्स एविडेंस क्या है? क्या बोलेंगे आपको? कैसे how can you say that they are consider themselves as Devaputra? Or historians understood these rulers considered as Devaputra. How do they know about this?
They have taken the inspiration from the Chinese rulers.
No, I am not asking about that. Now the historians, how do they know about these people are considering themselves as Devaputra?
Because their statue
Colossal statues in the shrine. मंदिर जैसे में ना वहाँ पर आपको colossal statue मिला है.
in Madura and similar.
And they ruled over these places. कहाँ रूल किया था? कौन सी एरिया में रूल किया था? From Central Asia to Northwestern India, right? क्योंकि उसका भी एविडेंस है. बिकॉज स्टैचूज मिला है आपको उत्तर प्रदेश में, मथुरा में मिला है, देन आपको अफगानिस्तान में मिला है, राइट? एंड हु वर द सामंतास?
Samantas were the people who has the control over the land, and they collected the taxes and given to the king. And they are powerful, and they have the power to replace the weak rulers.
Because they are arranging the army also. That is why they are able to replace the weak rulers, right? And what is meant by Prashasti?
Prashasti means it is a long poem which is written by the court poets in the praise of king.
Okay. Famous Gupta ruler?
Samudragupta.
And who was Harisena?
Harisena means who brought the Prayaga Prashasti.
ऐसा नहीं बोलना. Harisena means नहीं. Harisena was the court poet of Samudragupta who wrote this Prayaga Prashasti. That means another name of Prayaga Prashasti?
Allahabad Pilla.
And what are the strategies for increase the production?
Iron dipped plow, transplantation, irrigation.
What is meant by transplantation?
Transplantation means जिसमें it increase the production of a paddy field. जिसमें ना seeds को ले लेते हैं, seeds को लेके फिर उसके जो saplings वो water log में डाल देते हैं. ऐसे नहीं है. पहले broadcast करेंगे, seed plant हो जाएगा, plant को निकाल करके फिर आप water logged area में इसको अलग-अलग space करके डालेंगे. इसको बोले transplantation. And फिर आपका hog cultivation बोल दिया, agriculture बोल दिया था. फिर क्या है? हाँ इतना ही है. And relation between kings and subjects को historians कैसे assess किया है? Because inscriptions are not factual, and the ordinary people are not having this records also. Then how the historians reconstruct the relation between the king and the subjects? उसकी source बोलना है. हाँ. कि coins, inscriptions.
No. Question पहले समझ लो. I to ask that the king and subject का relation कैसे पता चला उनको?
उनको पता चला जब subjects when the subjects they told that during the night they
I know what I am asking. I am asking the question that जो किस historian को कैसे पता चल गया राजा और subject के बारे में?
Historians को कैसे पता चला राजा?
Source क्या है? कहाँ से मिल गया? कहाँ से पता चल गया? Stories. ये तो है. मतलब first of all listen the question carefully, then only give the answer. From stories. Stories means कौन सी? Jatakas and Jatakas कौन सी इसमें लिखा है? पाली. Okay, thank you. Now आपको board explanation करेंगे तो आप सही हो जाएंगे, right? Okay. So dear students, today we are already discussed about the new notions of kingship, right? इसमें आपको बताया गया chiefs and kings in the south. उसके बारे में बता दिया था. To 2nd century BCE, different number of kingdoms and the chiefdoms emerged in the subcontinent. southern India में Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas, isn't it? And this is in the ancient Tamilakam. Tamilakam means ancient Tamil country. And we are able to understand about this kingdom as well as the chief from Sangam text. That are the important resources, right? How rulers acquired wealth and etc. We got information from the Sangam, Tamil Sangam text. And about that, I described about the chief, isn't it? Who are the chief? Chief is a powerful man whose position may or may not be hereditary. He derives support from his kinfolk. Kinfolk means relatives. His functions may include performing special rituals, leadership in the warfare, and also sometimes he has to judge the disputes and all. He can receive the good gift from the subordinates, but should distribute among the supporters, right? Apart that, many other kings also, rulers also, like Satavahanas rulers and Shakas had also controlled over long distance trade network and earned majority of their income from revenue generated by the trade. Then उसके बाद मैंने बोला था कि इसका कुशारा रोल के बारे में, isn't it? Identity of the god means that they themselves considered as the god-like structure. Colossus statue के बारे में बता दिया. These Kushana rulers, they ruled over the vast kingdom extending from Central Asia to Northwest India, and their history also reconstructed from coins, sculptures, isn't it? Then inscriptions, etc. That also which convey sense of the notion of the kingship. And colossal statues also, Kushanas also got have been found installed at Mathura, means in a shrine, Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, and similar statue also found at Afghanistan, right? So from this only we can understand these people, they ruled over a vast area. And also many historians describe that title. These Kushana rulers, they have opted title like Devaputra. Devaputra means son of God. They might be influenced from the Chinese rulers. They also called themselves as son of heaven, right? Then we discussed about the Gupta rulers. Historians reconstruct the history of Guptas from Prashasti also. Coin inscriptions are there. Prashasti ka hai? Prashasti means these are the long poems written by the court poets. ऐसे एक प्रशस्ति के बारे में बता दिया, प्रयागा प्रशस्ति या इलाहाबाद पिल्लर written by the Hari Sena court poet of Samudragupta. He was the famous ruler of Gupta dynasty. Then उसके बाद बोला changing countryside के बारे में, popular perception of kings के बारे में. जैसे कि inscriptions are not factual, ordinary people are not at all मतलब जो preserved accounts and all. So how the historians came to know about the perceptions, means राजा के बारे में, जनता का विचार और प्रजा का विचार क्या है. So through the stories only, Jatakas and Panchatantra, Jatakas written in Pali, from that only they came to know about the relation between the subject and the king, isn't it? उसमें ने story आपको बताया था, गेंडा बिंदु जताका की कहानी बताया था, कहानी में दोबारा repeat नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Then after that, the strategies for increasing the production, because these kings were cruel. Suppose they wanted to fill their coffers, means खजाना, उनके लिए टैक्स ज्यादा आ जाता है, तो टैक्स इंक्रीज करेंगे, तो लोग पीपल दे स्टार्टेड टू अडॉप्ट डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज फॉर इंक्रीजिंग प्रोडक्शन. ऐसे हैं, उसमें आयरन टिप प्लॉ के बारे में बता दिया, ट्रांसप्लांटेड प्लांटेशन के बारे में बता दिया, देन उसका हो एग्रीकल्चर के बारे में, देन आपका क्या बोलेंगे हो एग्रीकल्चर. इसके अलावा और एक और बताया था मैंने आपको, कौन सी है कि इरिगेशन के बारे में, राइट. ये इतना मैं बताया. वो आपको आयरन टिप के बारे में बताया था कि जो गंगा एंड कावेरी वैलीज में जो अलुवियल सोइल है, राइट, to increase agriculture production, they shift the plow agriculture. Means iron tip plow use किया है, and because of fertile alluvial so river valleys है, so गंगा and कावेरी, इससे क्या कर दिया, अलुवियल सोइल को टर्न कर दिया, और जहाँ पर हाई रेनफॉल मिलता है, जो ड्राई एरिया है, वहां पे आपको सोइल को टर्न करके उसको इंक्रीज कर दिया प्रोडक्शन. सेकेंड ट्रांसप्लांटेशन के बारे में बता दिया, ट्रांसप्लांटेशन सम पार्ट्स ऑफ गंगा वैली ओनली, where the production of paddy जहाँ पर होते थे dramatically increase हो गया because of introduction of this transplantation. इसके बारे में बता दिया, जो साइड में लिखा भी है, आपको क्वेश्चन भी पूछेंगे. Then use of हो के बारे में बता दिया. सेमी एरिड पंजाब और राजस्थान में होते हैं, हिली ट्रैक्स में नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न सेंट्रल पार्ट ऑफ द सब कॉन्टिनेंट में भी ये होते थे. एंड इसके अलावा इट वाज मच प्रैक्टिस्ड और मच बेटर इन terrains, right? Then irrigation, another strategy adopted to increase agricultural production was the use of irrigation. तो wells, tanks, etc. wells and tanks वगैरह कंस्ट्रक्ट किया था राजा और कम्युनिटीज वगैरह. इस तरह वो अपना प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज कर दिया. So please go through this topic, read the topic carefully and try to understand. If you are able to understand, once again you please listen the lecture as well as read the chapter. Thank you.